So good morning, everyone. We will not play the PAASE video anymore. So we'd like to welcome you to our town hall meeting. We'll try to update you on all the things that our PAASE leaders are doing. You know, you cannot imagine how vibrant, how dynamic our PAASE board meetings are. And we have become not just friends, but I think we have become very special friends within the PAASE board. So this morning, I'd like to call on our PAASE leaders one by one to update us about what he or she is leading in PAASE. You will share your enthusiasm and inspire all of us. These are exciting times, challenging times, and we are hoping that we are somehow meeting up to the challenge of these times, which is really to bring science to the people, science for change. That's a DOST logo or motto, and it's what I believe is outreach to the regions. So with that, I'd like to give the floor to our Vice President and President-elect. In 2022 and 23, he will be our leader in PAASE. So Mario, please, can you tell us about 41st APAMS and all your other initiatives? 3 to 5 minutes, Mario.
Okay. Thank you, President Giselle. I'd like to share my screen if
Yes,
it's possible.
Sure. I'll stop my screen share now. That's so great.
So magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, sa mga nasa Pilipinas. Good evening for those who are here in the US, and good morning, Gus. He's in Australia. So I'd like to share my screen. I'll be reporting about the status of our annual PAASE meeting and a symposium. And I prepared a set of slides for us. Let me start from the beginning. So the 41st annual PAASE meeting and symposium will be held here in Baltimore on October 8 to 11 at the Cambria Hotel, Arundel Mills BWI Airport. The APAMS is designed to be hybrid. We are cognizant of the current situation. So there will be on-site and virtual components, but most, if not all, of the sessions will be live streamed. So the theme of this year's APAMS is celebrating the Filipino scientists and the 4 decades of PAASE. For those who are not familiar with the history of PAASE, it was founded in 1980 by Dr. Severino Co, who used to be a professor at the University of Indiana at West Lafayette. And he transferred to the University of Maryland here in Baltimore County, where he retired. Unfortunately, he's not with us now, but most of the founders are still with us, and we'll be celebrating them. There are 21 of them, but yeah, as I've said, some of them are not now not with us any longer. And of course, including everyone who's are part of PAASE, and everyone who's working on the science and technology area, for the Philippines. So the venue is, I've said, the Cambria Hotel, Arundel Mills BWI Airport, and it will be held from the evening of October 8th, that's a Friday, up to the morning of October 11th, that's a Monday. We have gathered four eminent keynote speakers who are leaders in government and the university. And of course, the most are involved in science and technology. Our first keynote speaker for the opening night is Honorable Jose Manuel Romualdez, our ambassador of the Philippines to the United States. On the second night will be Dr. Freeman Rabowski, the current president of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Incidentally, he announced his retirement just last Wednesday. He'll be retiring at the end of this academic year. So this is a very opportune time for all of us to listen to his words and his wisdom and learn from his experience as a child activist during the time of Martin Luther King. He's a well-known mathematician, and he actually pushed, the university into its current status today, especially its Marhab Scholars Program, which produced young science luminaries, including Kizmiki Corbett, the lead scientist for Moderna vaccine. On the third night, we'll have Honorable Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña, who will be awarded the PAASE Presidential Award at the end of his address. He will also hopefully participate in a roundtable discussion that will happen on that night. And last but not least, we have a distinguished keynote lecturer, Dr. Shuji Nakamura, who's the 2014 Nobel laureate for physics. He was invited by Joel Coelho, and he'll be joining us on Saturday in the morning, which is evening in the Philippines. So for the APAMs, we have organized number of special events, both plenary and parallel events. We have 5 plenary panel discussions. We have 2 special lectures of the awardees of the PAASE and Severino co-lectureship. I will be announcing the winners later in my short presentation. We were fortunate that just a few hours ago, the committee of Diana Aga from University of Buffalo, Dan Tagle from NIH, and Jus Santos from George Washington University met and decided the winners for this year's co-lectureship award. We have 12 to 14 parallel sessions. We received about 60 abstracts, and you can see the richness and the depth and the breadth, of the topics that will be covered by these mostly REC organized sessions. We have a session on social science led by Dr. Ernie Pernia. We have a session on fisheries and agriculture and environment and energy and instrumentation, and so on and so forth. From our RECs, and there are also submissions from non-PAASE members whom we included in some of these parallel sessions. We are planning for those who will be attending on site to deliver their talks on a plenary mode, so that everyone will be able to listen to their lectures. Then we have a roundtable discussion on charting the future of Philippine S&T innovation ecosystem. We have 3 fora, meeting NIH, NSF officers, and one about the Balik Scientist program. We'll have the 2 oath-taking events for new PAASE members, and of course, the luncheon in honor of the 21 PAASE founders. For the most recent version of the program, please visit paase.org. This is the earlier version, and we still don't have the titles here, but hopefully the new version of this has been posted on paase.org. These are the registration fees. These are also available on the website. So far, we've had about 40 registrants, including graduate students whom we are giving graduate student fellowship, which entitles them to a free registration and the certificates of attendance and listing on the PAASE directory of graduate students. One feature of APAMS is actually a fundraiser, which we hope to really be able to help us gather funds for our several projects. This is a fundraiser that we intend to pay tribute to inspiring Filipino science and math high school teachers. The honorees will be featured in the online book of abstracts. Donations will support our educational projects, which are all listed in our website. And organizations or individuals can also submit their ads, not necessarily about their favorite teachers, but to advertise their services or their programs. Still another feature of APAMS 2021, as I've mentioned, we have the Graduate Student Fellowship. This is the first for graduate students, the first set of our graduate students who applied and were accepted into the program. Ms. Anne Elizabeth Rolion Enova from Marine Science Institute, UP Diliman, Lowell Iporak from the Florida International University, a PhD student, Angelico Nicole Tolentino, MS Chemistry from UST, and June Chris Espia, a PhD political science student from the University of Canterbury in New Zealand. So we have a whole variety or diversity of students from all over. As of tonight, I checked and there are 8 more applicants, which we haven't processed yet. Okay, let me see what the next slide is. Oh, this is the special announcement. The 2021 Co-Lectureship Award is a few hours ago. The selection committee met and they decided among the highly outstanding nominees, they selected 2 who will be receiving the PAASE and Severino Co-Lectureship Award for Science and Engineering, and they are dun, 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 Kay Aviso and Arnel Salvador. So Kathleen Aviso is a faculty member and researcher at De La Salle University. She'll be receiving the Co-Lectureship Award for Engineering, and she'll be delivering the lecture on Saturday, October 9th. And of course, Arnel Salvador, Dr. Salvador is a professor at UP, National Institute of Physics, and an academician of the National Academy of Science and Technology. He'll be delivering his lecture on Sunday, October 10th. Both of them will be receiving, each of them will be receiving $1,000, as their cash prize. And these are the committee members of APAMS 2021. Thank you and see you in October. Please visit paase.org. Use hashtag APAMS 2021 when posting, on social media. Salamat po.
Fantastic, Alvin. So thank you so much for that. And you were telling us earlier that, yes, there is this huge group that will be presenting in 41st APAMS on social, cultural, historical sciences. So many more of our members who are in the social sciences are participating in PAASE and 41st APAMS. And to me, that's very, very exciting. It's a very deliberate effort on our part to try to get more of our social scientists into PAASE. And I know that the Dean of CSSP of UP Diliman, Bernadette Abrera, is giving a presentation, right? So with that, may I thank you, Mario. May I now ask you and Marge to present the the REX activities, because some of our REC members are here. So I am going to try to get our screen to the REX page, okay? But in the meantime, Marge, tell everyone again the great efforts that you and Edsel went through to get our PAASE organized into REX, which is, I think, very, very critical, because you cannot run an organization without structure. right? And we're growing in numbers, and we want to be 550, 600 by next year. With new nominations, because it's so important to gather all Filipino experts all over the world and in the Philippines into one organization. So we have 14 recs that Marge and Mario will talk about, and I will add on. No, but let me now first try to get our box on Rex into this. Just a moment, Marge.
Yeah. Okay. Are you gonna share it, Giselle?
Yes. Just a moment. I'm fixing it
Okay.
up. Stop. Here. So I am going to now click it here, and then I'm going to screen share. And it's just telling you that all information about PAASE is on our website. It's our go-to place for information. Okay, so let me just share that now. We've gone through such great pains and efforts to come up with this website. And I'd like to thank again Richmond Pancho, our webmaster, for this. He may be around, but he's in another meeting. So this is our Rex page, and it's part of our membership box. Yes? So, Marge, yes?
Okay. So good evening. Well, good morning, everyone in the Philippines, and good evening to those who are here in the United States. It's so great to see all of you virtually, even though it's just virtual. It's great to see everybody. So I just want to give a brief history of how the Rex came about. So last year, which is 2019, 2020, I think was the birth. We call it the birth of the Rex. Because that's when the Recs were created. So for a long time, the PAASE was just this big group with everybody just put into one big box and asked to interact with each other. And as you can imagine, it will be very hard to find somebody with expertise that is similar to you or interest similar to you if you're just looking for everybody and scrambling around in the box trying to find someone with similar interests to you. So before, about a couple of years ago, PAASE sent a survey to find out what are the interests of the members, what are the research interests, and we call this the research project groups. And so everybody came up with this, and the first task that happened when I became the chair of the membership committee was to determine what were these RPGs, as we call them, the research project groups. And so we classified everybody that responded to the Google survey. And it turned out that by classifying everybody, we came up with about 60 classifications. So that's really very clunky and very inefficient to work with about 60 groups. And so while Edsel and I were working on this, we're like, this is not going to work. We still have to make this even smaller than that and group researchers into bigger interest groups so that they can interact with each other. So what we did was we classified each of those RPGs into further smaller groups, and that's how we came up with the Rex. And so it's kind of like having a big organization. You have your departments, and you have within the departments, you have sections. And so we came up with the biological sciences, which we divided into evolution, ecology, and fisheries and marine sciences. And then we have Rec 2, which are the psychological sciences, and so on and so forth. So the next iteration of this, we came up with about 30 groups, and we still cut it some more and clustered people together. And that's how we came up with the research expertise clusters. So you're no longer all alone within your group, because there were some RPGs with 1 or 2 members. And then there are some people who really decided that they were unique. They had their own RPG with 1 member. So we grouped all the RPGs and clustered them together. And this is how we came up with 14 research expertise clusters. And so what we hope by putting all of this together is that now, as a member of PAASE, it becomes more efficient to interact with those members who have similar interests and expertise as you. And so if you have expertise in ecology and evolution, what we did was we made a list of all the members. So we have a whole roster of all the members. And then from that roster, we picked out the ones who had similar interests, who declared that they had interest in Rec 1 or Rec 2 and Rec 3. So as you can see, if you click on the website, which is what Giselle is doing now, those are the members of Rec 1. And so now it's easy for you to go into that rec and find someone who has similar interests as you, whether you want to start a new project or you want to start a new group, a group discussion, and then be able to make connections easier. But also what we did was we didn't limit you to one rec group. As you know, science is very collaborative nowadays, and there are interactions between different recs. And so you have the ability to join as many recs as you want. So if you look at our roster of the general membership roster, you will see that there are probably 3 recs that are listed in there. That doesn't mean that you're just limited to 3 recs. You can join all the recs if you want, even if you don't have expertise in it and just want to learn something of what's going on in that particular rec. You are free to do so. And so what happened when we did this is now we are able to have seminars by different recs. We can have sessions by different recs, and it becomes more efficient to organize that because each rec will have their own governing system to interact with each other top to bottom, but then we can also go side to side to interact with other recs. And so what we have noticed, particularly after the 40th APAMS, which we all had to go online, organizing everyone into recs made that a very memorable event where people around the world that were part of recs began participating. So it's actually one of the most exciting APAMs to do because you didn't have to travel across the world, but you were able to interact with scientists across the world through their organizations by their research expertise clusters. And so now I think there are a lot of recs that are very active. I think most of the recs are very active. And I think Mario will tell you in a little bit that organizing the 41st APAMS also became easy because of the fact that we have these clusters that can now organize their own sessions and present the experts in their particular sessions. So now we can highlight, instead of highlighting the same people every year, every APAMS that we have, we can now highlight everybody from across the breadth of expertise that we have, and also be able to highlight, the leaders of the field, as well as those who are up and coming in the field. And so this is now the way that PAASE is organized. And we hope that this legacy will continue and we will continue to function like this and be able to communicate better with each other and move each other forward with respect to promoting science in the Philippines and around the world. And so I'm going to give it to Mario because then I guess he'll tell you how the recs are involved in organizing the 41st APAMS.
Thank you, Marge. Just a few thoughts about the recs. It's really very important to emphasize the importance of leadership in recs. And I'm very thankful that most of the recs have been very active in organizing sessions for the APAMS. And I would like to especially give a shout out to some of the recs leaders who are here. Gus Doronila of Rec 1 on evolution, ecology, and fisheries. He works very well together with Mike Kiroleda, and they're the first ones among the Recs who submitted a complete list of abstracts, for the parallel session that they're organizing. I also would like to thank Elmer Rico Mojica of Rec 5. He works with Gladys Completo, to organize and review the abstracts for Rec 5. Of course, to CP David, Rec 12, Physical and Geological Sciences. There may be other leaders of Rec of clusters here that I might not be able to mention, but thank you very much for your participation. It's very important also, aside from working together, the leadership of Recs, that the Recs also work together, in certain projects, because eventually we will have to form a community, of scientists who are working together for the common good. Uh, Giselle mentioned earlier about the importance of structure, and probably in the future, we may have to rethink about, the structure of the REX or its relation, for example, to the board of directors. We may probably have a REC council that will oversee all the activities of the RECs, and to make sure that the RECs are communicating between themselves in addition to within the RECs. And so thank you very much. Hopefully, moving forward, we'll have research expertise clusters that will have their own initiatives, that will contact us, as members of the board or of officers of PAASE about what they want to happen, with the RECs, about how they think the RECs can be better, perform better, function better, all in the pursuit of the goals of PAASE. Salamat po.
Fantastic idea, Mario. Thanks. Rec Council. Okay, because even among the rec co-chairs, there are the prime movers or the leading members. They're the ones, they're like the leading edge. So to have a rec council is really good because it's fantastic to learn from one another.
Yeah.
And
I also would like to, acknowledge the presence of Menchi Lagman of Rec 4. Hello, Menchi.
Yes.
And of course, Mike Villard of Rec 3. I think we are very much, represented. Many of the Recs are represented tonight or this morning.
Mario, Marge, this is.
Can I say one more?
Yes.
One more thing that I'd like to say. A few months back, we had kind of a rec forum where we invited all of the rec leaders to come and talk to us. When the rec was first started, we pretty much didn't know. We just appointed, and Giselle basically pointed out leaders. And the leaders are like, what are we doing? What do we do? And so, but they did a great job. They did a great job in organizing the 40th APAMS. It was very exciting. But then at some point, we went back a few months ago and said, okay, let's call the RECs again and explain this all over, what's happening, what are these RECs, how did they come about, and what we expect these REC leaders to do. Kind of define what they are, just back up and say, oh, this is really what we're doing. And so that was actually very, very fruitful. From that meeting, we were actually able to schedule a whole several months of meetings from each of the RECs because they all wanted to present the experts from their particular RECs. And so we were right by sitting there within 20 minutes, we had a whole series of seminars scheduled. So I think I would suggest that moving forward, apart from the rec council should probably meet at least once or twice a year, just so that you can keep track of what's happening and sort of set the agenda for the year and involving all of the recs. Unfortunately, we have 14 recs, so one rec a month is like will take more than a year to fulfill us with seminars and symposia.
Yeah, that's what's
the thing about the rec.
So Marge, we just finished our first round robin of rec hosted webinars. Each rec hosted a webinar, which is outstanding. So at this point, I just like to recognize our other members. Vanji Amor, who's a AVPAA of UP system. We have, of course, Menchi. We have Alette Iniguez of MSI. We have, of course, Irene Villaseñor, who is our assistant treasurer. The other board members are here now. We will ask you to speak in a bit. But we also have John Ryan Kokoy Dizon of Bataan Peninsula State University, the partner of Gobet in one of our lead provinces, Bataan, where our MOU is almost ready for signing, and BPSU is part of it as well. Okay, so at this point, Chana is here. Chana, hello. We have our EVSU officials in full force. Now, I'd like to know whether there are comments at this point from our PAASE Rec co-chairs, our members, and our PAASE friends. Maybe we spend about 5 minutes, and then we will move on to Lulu Harold, our secretary, and then Lisa Virata, our treasurer. And if Irene wants to speak as our assistant treasurer, let you speak. And then we'll go to our board members who will tell us all about their initiatives, including our membership application form, care of Marge, and the DOST PAASE collaboration form, care of me, and hopefully Aimee Del Mundo is here by that time. So everyone, please raise your hand or just speak up unmute if you have any questions at this point. And I can almost anticipate a question from Al Serafika, our former PAASE president and major prime mover in 2 or 3 of our major projects in the PAASE. Al?
You got me again. I just want to say congratulations for the nice program, Mario. I mean, that's an excellent roster you've already put forth. And you covered every area. I'm so excited. I just hope that I can make it there in person, but with all the difficulties of travel and coming back here. So I hope you'd understand that it's very difficult for us right now, being in the middle of the variant B. But congratulations. And Marge, I know a lot of work on the Rex, definitely breaking it down and then building it up into subsections like that was no small feat. And definitely, I congratulate you. Scientists are not the easiest one to agree together very easily. So I'm glad you were able to coalesce. But I really
I have to say that, when we created the Rex, we used an algorithm. So there was no argument. The computer just went through the algorithm.
Right.
You put
There you
keywords
go.
and
There you
together. And then we went back and took a step back and like, oh, wait a minute. These people don't belong in this rack. And that's when the hardware came and I went to go one at a time and, weed out the people that were misclassified. But I think we are fine now. And if you're in the wrong rack, which I hope you're not, you can join the rack even if you don't have an expertise in it.
Sure, you can.
Just join another rack.
I've seen most of the racks in action, indeed. And I remember Elmer Stashos in physics is the last rack that came in. And pagalitan niya ako, hindi pa raw kami nag-present. And he was going, he's a friend of mine, of course.
Madali ka nang hanapin ngayon.
Madali silang hanapin. So very, very good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Al. So we'd like to hear some comments from the Rec co-chairs. How do we advance in terms of rec activities? And then maybe from some of our members and our friends who joined us here today. Any comments from our Rec co-chairs? Elmer, Gus, Michael? Any? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any?
Well, I can start. I can start, yes.
Okay.
All right.
I guess.
Okay. Yes. Well, firstly, thank you very much for consolidating these different recs, because we started off with quite a number last year, but to find these commonalities has really helped a lot. And I was very pleased. For example, we're already subscribed for our session for Rec 1, but it was good because last year we only had one contribution for fisheries and marine science. So this year, majority of them are for the fisheries, and very, very wonderful abstracts. And there's, I think, one entomology paper that's going to be presented. But I was so pleased that the immediate response of the Rec members to put in an abstract.
Okay, thanks. Now we'd like to hear from others. Thanks, Gus. Really very encouraging on your part to tell us this. Now, may we hear, say, from Dr. Nolly Kashana Veracruz of Erie, who's joined us, or Noel Miranda, maybe about a minute or 2 minutes each for comments and suggestions.
Noel, come first.
Okay, Noel. Noel.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Nice to see you.
Pleasure to be here. And of course, it's my first time to be engaging in such a meeting since I'm a new member of PAASE. And but definitely, this is a pleasure and would be able to provide my inputs I do, I belong basically to infectious disease, immunology and virology, zoonosis, of course, and One Health is something that I work for over the last few decades of my life. And certainly, the interface between animal public health and environment health. And that's where I belong. And I'd love to interact with the various other members who are interested in this particular field. And this is something I'd like to help PAASE with, in developing this particular expertise, line of expertise. I don't know who in this group at the moment are present, who are interested in the same line of field of.
All right.
Thank you.
Noel? Thank you, Noel. Actually, last Friday, our activity was a fireside chat on the discussion of a 2015 PLOS paper on imperfect vaccination. Very relevant to your interests. And
Yeah.
we discussed Marek's disease, MDV DNA virus in poultry. And we had very, very outstanding speakers, 2 vet meds from UPLB, but now one is based in France. We had Danny Casimiro again, we had Vic Ilag, and we had Father Nick Austriaco. And we had this very rich discussion. And it's going to be followed up by a NAST webinar that I am organizing with ACAD Sean Raimundo, our PAASE stalwart here, on viral evolution. Okay, so
sorry, I missed that.
yeah, it had been announced many times. You can still watch the recording. That's the great thing about us. Even if you can make it, like today or last week, all our events are recorded and posted on our website. So this NAST webinar series is going to be co-hosted by ACAD Sean Raimundo and also national scientist Emil Javier, who's also a PAASE honorary member. Thanks.
Yes. And also,
Yes.
Giselle, I'd like to add,
Yes.
I'm also quite involved now with the local vaccine manufacturing in the Philippines, developing that.
Yes.
Obviously, it's evolving. It's work in progress.
So Noel, I'll tell you about opportunities later also to make your engagement official in the DOST, because Homer Pantua and Vic Ilag are now balik scientists of the DOST.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So you can be an RD lead person. Okay. If you're based locally, RD leader. So there's an application for RD leaders for all of us here in the Philippines and for balik scientists based abroad, virtually or face-to-face. So we'll talk about that a bit later. Any more questions and comments and suggestions?
I think Giselle, Elmer Mohika,
Elmer,
chair of
yes.
Rex.
Elmer, please.
Wanted to
Yes,
say.
Elmer. Yes, thanks, Al. Yes, Elmer.
Hi, good morning to all of you here, straight here from New York, surviving the flood last night. So I took over as a co-rec when Dora Lynn, I think from San Agustin, has to give way. So I'm co-chairing it with Dr. Gladys Completo. So Dr. Completo and I are planning, I think, to have like a webinar for Rec 5. I'm just waiting for her because she's being nominated as chair in the director in Institute of Chemistry. And in these upcoming APAMs, we will have our own parallel meeting. I think we have 5 speakers from Rec 5. So I'm excited, and we're hoping that we're able to recruit more, being a member of the membership committee, so at least we can have more network, at least in the chemistry and the biochemistry expertise or cluster. Okay, thank you very much.
Elmer, that's fantastic. I'm speaking at your webinar. So is my RA. And then another one is submitting. So that's going to be an exciting parallel session. And it's nice for you to mention Gladys being a candidate for Institute Director, because I'm so happy to announce today to everyone that Kay Aviso, our co-engineering awardee, is the new Dean of Engineering of De La Salle. And she's not here today. You know, our former president, Kay, and our host, tireless host of the Friday webinars of PAASE. So Kay says hi to everyone. But there's another person that we have to recognize now. The person you replaced, Doralyn Dalisay. Doralyn Dalisay is going to be featured in our movie banners in PAASE. Why? She and Janelle Saludes of University of San Agustin just published in Scientific Reports a major paper on streptomyces from sediment, marine sediments. So she sent the article to me yesterday, and we're going to feature her in our website. Okay, so thanks so much. Any more from our rec co-chairs, friends, and members today? If not, we will proceed.
Yes,
Yes. Yes. Who is it?
Kashana Veracruz.
Oh,
Nolly.
Sana, Nolly.
I'm
Sorry,
here,
no, I have to unmute. Yeah, sorry.
Nolly.
Yeah. Ma'am, good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Mario Santo Domingo for being so accommodating with my submission. Thank you so much, po. And then I also would like to thank Dr. Menchi Lagman. She is my chair of the Rec 4. And being new, I am still really need a lot of communication to be made with her. And I would suggest assisting her in the organization of the session for the APAMS 21, the rec. If she's organized, I learned it from Doc Mario. Thank you so much again, Doc
Thank you.
Mario.
Thank you.
Well, may I ask?
Like me.
Sorry, Nolly. May I ask if you're willing to be you are co-chair of the rec now? Am I right?
Yes,
with
ma'am. And
yes.
I'm
Yes.
supposed to organize a session, and
Yes.
yeah, we can do that in the coming
All right.
probably after, or
But you
maybe
are
after
rec
6 months.
co-chair.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, fantastic. I think it's rec
So
4.
I need to do a lot more of communication and contacts and activities with my chair,
Yes.
Doc Menchi Lagman.
All right.
So, my Doc Menchi.
Thank you
Hi,
so much.
ma'am.
Nolly.
Hello.
Hi, Doc
Thank
We
you.
have, yes, we have
Okay.
4 papers.
Wow.
Thank you. That
We have, yeah,
let's meet.
yes.
All right. So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
we have to move on. Can we move on?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you,
Mario.
Nolly,
Thank you, Ma'am
for
Giselle.
joining and for
And
speaking.
thank you, Doc, also to Dr. Sean Raimundo.
Oh yeah, who nominated you?
Yes.
Wonderful. Erie,
Thank you.
a top person in Erie. This is Nolly Casiana Veracruz. Thank you so
And
much.
hopefully, ma'am, we can recruit more.
Yes.
And also
Good,
add
yeah.
into that, yeah.
Even from Erie, from non-members, is you don't have to be a member to present in 41st APAMS. Okay?
Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
First priority yung mga members para ma-fulfill na yung requirement to present. Which is now my segue into our indefatigable anchor of the PAASE through the ages. None other than our secretary, Lulu Harold. And she'll be followed by Liza Virata, former PAASE board chair, now our indefatigable, ever reliable treasurer. So take it away, Lulu.
I just want to say hello to everybody and to witness a face to the names that Giselle is mentioning in our very, very lively meetings, monthly meetings. The board is very, very active this year. And I commend both Giselle, Mario, and Marge, and the members for their zealousness and persistent in coming. And the next thing that I'll be doing is in a few months, I'll be calling for candidates for the board. We need 3 new BOD members. And I think that's it, because Mario will be doing the presidency 2 years in a row, but we need somebody in the board. And you notice the board, without the board, PAASE would not be this active.
No.
And I tell you, it's very important that you volunteer. If somebody invites you, I know Al is a very zealous nominator. Don't hesitate to say yes, you know, and even if you don't have any experience, just say yes, because it's a very, because I mean,
It's
don't be scared.
infectious.
There's nothing to be scared about.
Infectious,
You know?
infectious. Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
anyway, I'll be doing that in a few months, and I hope you join the board
Yes.
and so forth. Okay.
Okay.
Amalia, you want to say something?
Lulu, we also need a new vice president and a president.
Oh yeah, that's right. We need a new vice president
Yes.
also.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So 2-year
Please say
terms.
yes. So
Please
we have a
say
lively
yes.
election.
Just say yes. And we want to pass on to the next generation, the next age group as well. You cannot imagine how dynamic our board meetings are. And each one has his own, sharing of lofty ideas, move forward ideas. Pero each one is also involved on the ground with his own advocacies and moving forward this projects on the ground. No? So may I now then call, thank you so much, Lulu, so humble. You should see her minutes. It's amazing. The level of detail and accuracy of her minutes. Ever. And it's all there in the archives. Pero it's not syempre available to everyone. It's password protected. So Lulu, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Yes. So now we will ask Lisa V to give us a brief update on what she's been doing as treasurer. Is amazing as well. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. So continually collect money, membership fees, APAM's registration fees, magbayad na kayo, mag-attend na kayo. We extended the deadline. If you've been reading the emails, it's now extended to September 15. Because we didn't get a lot of registrations, even with the early bird rates. Take note, there's a 10% discount if you're a paid member. Okay, remember to pay your membership fees. Kahit annual dues, if you can't afford the lifetime membership yet, at least pay your annual dues. And with that, you can vote in the elections, right? So remember, you have to be paid for the year at least.
Thank you so much.
So we're also getting income. I should tell you, we're also getting passive income from Amazon, right? I don't know if you've seen that Smile Amazon. If you register PAASE as your chosen charity, we will get 0.5% of whatever you purchase on Amazon, goes to PAASE. But I think this will only apply to members in the US. Wala pa sa Philippines yung Amazon. And I just wanted to say I'm also been very busy with the Philippine Science High School Foundation collaboration. We had signed a memo of agreement last December. This is actually I signed, and Carlito Lebrilla, our past chairman of the board, signed the MOA with Philippine Science Foundation, who is still headed by Dr. Ray Bea, who's also a PAASE member. So it's been going well. We've been receiving donations for the foundation. It's coming through PAASE because we're a 501c3 nonprofit. So those donations coming through are gonna be tax exempt, and they can deduct that from their income tax next year. So it's been going well. A lot of alumni donors who are based in the US are now donating through PAASE.
Thank you so much, Lisa V. And just tell you that we've remitted over $30,000 to PSI Foundation.
More.
I know it's more.
More
no?
pa.
35,
And more
36
coming
more.
in because, you know, this week is so busy. It's
Yes.
Philippine Science Foundation Week.
And
So
it's money to teach the teachers, to upgrade the teachers of the PSI even more further. So major
it's all for faculty development.
faculty development, because I think CP and all of us know we have to teach the teachers better, right? So anyways, that's made possible because of the efforts of Lulu, Lisa V, Mario. We are tax exempt in the US now. Lulu and the previous treasurers. Okay, so we'd like to thank them all. Also now we have greater opportunity to raise funds in the US because we are now with a DUNS number and a SAM number. So thanks again to our VP, Mario, and Lisa V, and Lulu for getting our DUNS and SAM numbers in place. Thank you so much, Lisa V. Now we'll hear from Irene Villaseñor, our Assistant Treasurer in the Philippines. She's never tired to help.
Always tired.
Never,
Yes.
tiring efforts talaga yan. Non-stop, everyday Viber messages, etc. Irene, yes, please.
Good morning. I'm just here to assist Lisa and Giselle. I take care of the peso account in Metrobank.
Yeah.
So far, we have more than 100 Philippine-based members who have already paid either their annual dues or their life membership dues. With regards to the online Zoom registration fee, we have at least 15 to date who have already paid their early bird registration fees. Thank you.
Irene, including me, huh?
You have not paid yet.
No, I paid. I paid 1,000 pesos. I sent you the deposit slip. But because of what Mario said, I'm still open to traveling. If you go, I'll go. I don't know yet. I just asked my travel agent again today. Magkano ba? Anyway.
So over here, we have like 9 registrants so far. I'm waiting for more.
I'll send you ours. 2 of us are coming. And so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Is it true that Franco Teves is going there?
No, he decided not to
So
come.
anyway, maybe we may also decide wisely not to do it, not this time. But anyways, the spirit is with you all the way. So thank you so much, our treasurers and our secretary. And now we're gonna want to hear from our board members. And whoever has a meeting or a class, or not a class, meeting soon can speak up first. It could be CP, it could be Ino. Can you please tell us about your initiatives and your involvement in the board? Okay. Yes.
Okay, I will start.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning to all. Good evening to all members in the US. I'm Ino Lansigan. I'm in charge of one of the activities of the PAASE, and that is the Agri-Aqua Project initiatives. Well, in January, we reached out to DA Secretary William Dar on how PAASE can help DA. And so by giving their priorities, we have enjoined some of our members to submit proposals for funding of DA bar. And fortunately, some of the proposals that we submitted will be funded this year. Although it's late, but still okay, that will be funded. Another initiative is on the collaboration of PAASE and DA on the piloting of community vertical farms or gardens in NCR. Okay, so the idea there is to demonstrate within a short period of 10 months before the election, by the way, the low cost and location appropriate vertical farms that are economically sustainable. Okay, so this will be provided, assistance will be provided mainly by Dr. Joel Cuello. And there is a committee now created by DA in which PAASE members are also represented and expected to have. Another activity in this initiative is the assistance of PAASE to our researchers, particularly in the commercialization aspect of their agricultural technologies. As you know, there are already researchers reaching their level of frustration because of the paperwork involved. So we're trying to help some of our members or some of our colleagues developing agricultural technologies to commercialize their products. And recently, I'm happy to note that the DA has requested PAASE on how we can help them make use of available technologies, smart technologies, particularly in their projects in Pangasinan, okay? And they have started with a block of 100 hectares of rice farms in Pangasinan, and hopefully by next year, they will increase it to 400 hectares. So the idea there is to help the extension workers with the use of computer-based apps on technologies that we can share to our farmers in that particular location. And fortunately, we have ongoing projects here in UP Los Baños on smart agriculture, and we'll be able to make use of most of the technologies that we have developed here in UPLB. And I'm tapping also my former advisee, Nan, by the way, an ag engineer, Nan, who is now a professor at the Pangasinan State University, to collaborate with us. And maybe I will also nominate her to be a member. So there will be a connection with PAASE formally. Thank you very much.
Wow, fantastic, Eno. So great opportunities for engagement in Pangasinan. And as I mentioned earlier, our strategy is always to also get to the governor, and our lead provinces have excellent governors. They do. Okay, so at this point, I would like to call CP David and afterwards Alvin Colaba, because CP has many projects that he's leading, including the one involving Bataan Peninsula State University, together with Gobet Advincula, who's not here for now, no? Yes. Wow, look at that.
Hi, good morning again, everybody. For those whom I haven't met, my name is CP David. I'm a professor in UP Diliman. And the project that I am doing together with Al Serafica through PAASE is called the National STEM B program. It's a STEM education intervention program. And I'm happy to report that this will soon become an official activity of the DepEd, which is a milestone for us because, as you know, DepEd is very cloistered and wouldn't want other groups dealing with education, more so if we are talking about a national program. Also, some good news, since Al and the team have started the project, our team has ballooned to about 20 people already, including 15 science educators at the secondary level, because we are now preparing for questions for the quiz bees and organizing the first set of projects. In terms of funding, also some good news with the initial seed fund coming from PAASE through a fundraising project we did earlier this year. The funding has been matched by Unilab Foundation to the amount of more than 100,000 pesos. Another 100,000 coming from Emerson, which is an electronics company. Also from Microsoft and Shell Foundation. Another group called 88 Tuition also chipped in. So all in all, I think we have enough funds to do our first run of the National STEM Bee program. Finally, it's not the usual quiz bee, wherein we just gather students and compete by providing them questions through a quiz bee. It's actually really an intervention program, because the bulk of the work is really providing the students and the teachers with new materials on science and math that are more TIMS and PISA-like type of questions, more critical thinking, more analysis rather than rote learning. So the bulk of the work is really on that aspect. And it's really the quiz part is parang just the culminating event. Also, because there are many scientists and data scientists as well in the team, we hope to gather information which is critical to understanding what are the things that our students are finding hard to learn, and what are the barriers. And we can only do this by compiling this data set from how they answered questions, what type of questions they are having a hard time with, and so on and so forth. So that's the more scientific analytical aspect of the project. We'll start the STEM Bee program in October, and the first run will end sometime in March of next year. Yun lang muna, Giselle. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, CP. You know, CP is a real prime mover, and I would say that this STEM Bee is really deep in his heart, okay, and reinforced by Father Ben Nebres, our PAASE honorary member, who pointed out that our Filipino students at the 7th grade level and grade 4 level, they're like tail enders, okay, in TIMS and PISA. So this is a very noble initiative of yours that you're carrying through with the help of Al, Cheryl Monterola of the UP College of Education, Mario, and everyone else who's into the STEM or STEAM. So we're trying to show this to everyone. There's a way to snowball our initiatives and make a big impact. And you also know that CP led together with 5 of us in preparing the S&T Human Capital Development position paper, where the first thrust is really STEM education at the secondary level. Okay, our interventions there. And just to update you, as I've updated CP, we are continuously in touch with the speakers, staff, and now our proposal is already being considered under the NEP. And we are supposed to follow it up in October, and hopefully we will get some money under the PAASE program by December. By December, we'll know about it. Now, at this point, I'd like to recognize the presence of Elmer Pandanan of the DOST, who works closely with ASEC Lea Buendia. Okay, and later, Elmer and I, and hopefully Aimee Del Mundo, can tell you about our collaboration with the DOST and the form that we have come up with to make it easy for all of you to engage through the DOST programs. So at this point, let us call Alvin Ulaba to tell us about his frontline programs and initiatives as a PAASE board member, as a DLSU Grand Awardee, and as a former PAASE president. But before that, I would like to announce something, because I have to recognize the generosity of our PAASE members. Recall that Alvin got the highest award possible from the DLSU. Well, guess what? He is donating 50,000 pesos of his award money to the PAASE. Unrestricted. Am I right about that, Alvin? Yes.
Yes,
Give
yes.
him a round of applause. So for all generous souls in the PAASE who can donate, please donate. Okay, and you don't have to restrict it, because you have a very responsible board of directors who will not allow money to be wasted, but our money to be spent wisely. Okay, so Alvin, please.
Thank you, President Giselle, my colleagues in PAASE, and of course, friends in the various sectors. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Yes, by the way, with the board, I had the grants proposal, evaluation committee. So we just recently awarded a proposal to develop a STEM material. So we would like to invite, more of our colleagues here. You may wish to, even if you are a non-member, you may want to collaborate with a PAASE member, and propose your ideas to us so that we can provide it's not really a big amount, that nonetheless, I think it will help you, achieve, your objective. So we would like to invite everyone to submit proposals. We would be, Lulu, we would be announcing the call for proposals in other areas of the grant. So just wait for that announcement, and would like to encourage you to please submit and have your ideas, recognized and get supported by PAASE. Now, back in 2006, Giselle, myself, and 4 others or 6 others, vigorously, discussed with our political leaders, at the highest level, up to the president, level. And it was about a 2 years effort. We really vigorously campaigned for many things that you will know, when APAMS in October, will be organized. So I would not share that now, but what I'm saying is, at the time, that's about more than 15 years ago now, we have been trying to influence the thinking of our decision makers at the highest level. But now we have shifted, to also try to influence our political leaders at the provincial or regional levels. And I think this is what PAASE now is trying to advocate. Try to bring now our efforts, our influence, our talent, to the provinces, to the regions. So if you come from, where you have, been educated from, or you were born there, I think this is the best time, because PAASE has already the network to facilitate, the coordination and the networking, and this is what I simply did. I am from Tacloban, I'm Waray-Waray, and after Hayan in 2013, it was a realization, which means we've been doing so many things, at the national level. We spend so much hours, our time, that. Everyone knows that, but, at the highest level, a bit, the things, move so slow, but it has to be done. Yeah, you have to sustain it. We are still doing it now, no? But I think it's also about time that we go down to the provinces, to the regions, They need our help, our ideas, especially ideas. I may not have everything, definitely not, but I may know of so many people in the science community that we can, connect to them. And, so when I go to, in the last year of the pandemic, I've been there every 4 weeks for the last year, having, going through this RT-PCR thing, every time you travel and taking all the risk, but that is very important, because as even my family would say, why can't you just do it online or Zoom, but I will have to tell you, there is no substitute for really being there, for sitting down with people. And that is, I always, every time I go there, I sit down with the governor, with the municipal mayors, with the farmers, with the industry, with the HEIs, we're trying to build, this is, Giselle, Joel, this is what really what we're trying to do, build that ecosystem at that level. It's not happening very much at the highest level.
at the ground level, it can happen. And I think this is really what we're trying to push through. No? We are driven by the latest provincial development plan, economic development plan. They need assistance in agriculture, in seaweeds, in marine, Giselle, the seaweed industry in the region is dying.
Yes, yes.
One of the major, I think exporter of carrageenan, and they are getting their raw materials from Mindanao, from something like that. But there is a good industry there, but we need, experts on seaweeds, marine science, biology, etc., etc. Agriculture, Ino just mentioned, last week we met with Director Panganiban, the Director General for the Urban Farming Program of DA. So with Joel and, local, DFAR there, we already, and DA there, So we're trying to involve many, DOST, DPWH, DA, NIA, BFAR, we're bringing them together because we make it, clear to them that SNT will not really prosper without, the cooperation of the various sectors. That's why we bring in the industry. Of course, I always remember you always telling us, bring in the industry at the outset, So we have the farmers, we have the industry, we need the LGUs there, and of course the HEIs. And this is led by the Eastern Visayas State University, which is actually here, in full force. Their president and all their VPs are here. So this is what we're trying to do. Try to proactively, but I think this is what I'm saying. There's no substitute really for us to be there if it is possible physically. I will have to admit, I will have to tell you, the virtual, is good, but I will tell you it's no substitute to really being there, because once you get there, people see your commitment. You can see your real, intent of your initiatives. And of course, this is also more important if you are from that place, because they can trust you, you can communicate in their own language. And this is what I'm actually doing. So I'm an alumni of EVSU, of our elementary, high school there. It's much easier to, and of course, you go with your, of course, reputation, with your competence, you just don't go there with nothing, otherwise you'll not be able to influence, key decision makers. So I would like you guys, our colleagues in PAASE, to bring your talent to the regions or to the, and then we can collaborate. As earlier Giselle mentioned, this is not about Leyte alone. This is about connecting with Rizal's, with Mario's initiative in Rizal, which we already had meeting, Mario, with, with EVSU, and now we were trying to be with Bataan and all that. I think this is really what we need to do. We were able to sustain this for the last 15 years or so with Giselle at the highest level. We have to bring this now down to, to the lowest level. Bring the farmers, bring everyone, to the table, engaging with our decision makers and the scientists, of course. So thank you so much, guys. We'll keep you posted with our initiative. By the way, we have started, Al, you can help us, we already have started the indoor smart farming. We are ahead of the DA program, very much ahead, because Joel is there as a balik scientist in Leyte. We have now by our Giselle, September 24 Fireside Chat, we will showcase that initiative. And Director Panganiban in principle agreed, and the governor already in our meeting agreed that the pilot will be in Leyte, at the Palo, Leyte. Because
fantastic.
We are now at if you are given 1 to 5 steps, Director Panganiban was telling us they're starting at 1, bringing together the, stakeholders, government, etc., community. In Leyte, we are now step 4. We just needed the funds and we can get it going. So I think I want to bring you there in Leyte when we can travel. Actually, I traveled there. I was there 3 weeks ago. I'll be traveling in another 2 weeks' time. So yes, let's get it going. Let's showcase some provinces, and I hope it can work. So thank you, PAASE, our colleagues here, for being there and really sustaining our efforts. So thank you so much, and I hope we have an active, engagement with everyone. Thank you, Mario, Al, Giselle.
Thank you,
Of course,
Al.
my
You are
colleagues,
really a
Marge.
shining guiding light. And we have been together since our campaign in 2006, where we went to the congressmen, senators, together with Congressman Villafuerte, and then we ended up in Malacanang. And you were one of the 4 men in black, as I called you. The others being Toby Diary, Cesar Salama, you, and Raymond Tan. Oh my gosh, they were looking so debonair in their black suits and white shirts. All 4 of them, I'm telling you. So, but this symbolizes your leadership, Al, and now you're doing it on the ground. So we're moving very fast with EVSU. And so I'd like to thank the president and the highest officials of the EVSU for gracing our occasion today. And we will be there for you. I'm also pointing it out to Ino Lansigan, who is directly connected with the DA, both the secretary and the undersecretary and chief of staff. Okay, so at this point, I would like to maybe move on because we're racing against time and I know everyone is busy, but it's a good segue to this part of our town hall meeting. And I would like to present first our DOST collaboration with the PAASE, a Google survey form which we prepared, and I'd like to recognize the presence of Elmer Pandanan of the DOST who helped us with this. So I drafted it and then I sent it to Richmond Pancho and to Aimee Del Mundo because she's a co-chair of the Disease and Medicine Rec. And we already had one potential applicant, and that is Ana Crista Sortina, whom the secretary, SecBoy, wanted to encourage to to apply because she's already doing it. She's already hosting the training of people in her lab. Okay, so it's just a matter of formalizing your engagement. So at this point, let me just go through this very idea. Really, there is Aimee. Sorry, Aimee is coming in right now. Aimee of University of Texas, Austin. And here we have a form that is not like, gonna scare you because it's like a look and see first. Let's do a capsule template to see if you would be interested. So here you have this information. I hope I can now move it down. All right, highest degree, easy lang, easy. Okay, expertise, yung sagot, provide your CV, information submitted through which rec, and then your preferred mode of contact, email, phone, preferred email, phone, and then we move on to the next page, sunod. All right, let's see now if I can get this through. Submitted, susunod, I don't know, can I move this? Ay, naku, I have to move on. Pardon?
I think you have to fill it out and then it'll move. Kasi may required answers.
Yun na nga but I needed to show the questionnaire because this is already posted on our website. But let me just say that in this form, we already have the top priorities of the 3 research councils of the DOST. PCHRD, PSHRD, and PICARD, which were provided by ASEC Lea Buendia. And then we are also asking you if you have a preferred region where you want to help. You know, when we had a Google survey in 2019, which I designed, I asked this question because we were on this balik kasabayan mo tayo na mode. And naturally, you would like to help the region where you originated or where your family and community is. Pero hindi naman kailangan ganon. But now, let me just make a pitch for the 4 top provinces that we are helping. If you cannot help your province or you cannot initiate something that is sustainable in your province, by all means, please help Leyte, Rizal, Bataan, Pangasinan, and then down the line, Sec Boy said, Ilocos Norte, and I say Bulacan. Ang Bulacan at ang Rizal ang lapit sa atin. Ang Bataan medyo malapit sa atin. Leyte mas challenging, Ilocos Norte mas challenging. Pero wow, if you could help these provinces, because we have good things going there already, it would really come to a head. Yung synergy is so important. So this is our form, and our plan is for you guys to fill this up ASAP and submit. And then we were hoping that in 41st APAMS, if there is time, then we would have a consultation clinic with USEC Gen and or ASEC Lea Buendia. So Elmer, I'm saying this to everyone again, no? But then this could go on and on and on till after 41st APAMS. And I had suggested to Sec Boy and ASEC Lea, na we could do it this way. For example, if they had so much money to support us for Balik Scientist, for RD Lead, for host training, hosting the lab training, whether for MS PhD degrees or non-PhD degrees, and I'm actually addressing this also to the EVSU leadership, then you can sign up as a Balik Scientist or as an RD Lead, and you can do virtual or you can do face-to-face, all right? And then I think this is a way to go. If, say, there are 15 applicants for each research council whose research and program priorities have already been identified, then maybe they can select the top 5 applicants. So it's a little bit of a competition, because money naman is not unlimited in the DOST, right? So aside from the research council priorities, in this form, we've also listed the special programs of the DOST, including iSTEAM, iStart. It's being implemented, led in EVSU. We have, of course, the NICER program. Al knows all about this. We have the BIST and the Cradle programs. And recently, Sec Boy asked me to look for volunteers for the SWIM program in Isabela State University, having to do with water and climate issues. And lead person there from NAS is Glenn Tabios. Okay, so these are all listed in our form, and we have the links to each site for more information if you wanted more detailed information. But please do this before you even try to fill up the rather challenging or difficult application forms for Balik Scientist and RD Lead. Okay, so this is the way to go. I mean, you can then fill it up and then be interviewed by SecGev or ASEC Lea, and then you will be assisted in filling up the forms. And this is our way of making it easier for many more of our members to become DOST, experts team, part of the DOST experts team. Okay, so that's it for me. So at this point, I think I'm going to stop sharing, and I would like to request Marge, our chair and former membership committee chair, to share with us our membership application form, because obviously the way this works is, if we are 450 members and only 10% of ours are active, 47 members, that's good enough for me and for our board. But if we are increased to 600 and 60 of us are active, or now 20% of us are active, there would be 120 of us, and we would have a regional reach, then wow, the impact of PAASE would really be major. Okay, I know we're trying to compensate our volunteers, but bottom line is, let's continue to be volunteers in spirit. Okay, in spirit. So thank you so much. And Marge, on to you, please. Thanks.
Okay, so as Giselle has mentioned, I was the membership chair last year. Those of you who became new members, you probably have interacted with me many times. But this year, our new chair of the membership committee is Isa Yu, Dr. Isa Yu, who unfortunately cannot be here because she has another engagement. So she told me to go ahead and introduce the new system. So I think I can share my screen, right? Share. Huh. Okay, hang on, it's going to a different screen. I have to go on this side. This is what I want to share. Okay. I have two screens on in front of me and it's going to one side. All right, so what I really am trying to share is on the screen with you is the PAASE web page. Okay, one more time. Screen one.
Do you want me to do it? Try it? Yes? Do you want me? Okay. Okay, stop share first. Sorry. In the meantime, I'm also going to recognize at this point somebody whom I would like to request to speak later. Okay. And that is none other than our corresponding member and NAS corresponding member and PAASE stalwart, Ann Villalobos, because Ann Villalobos has made good her pledge, her donation of $2,500 to the PAASE. Okay, so let me now ask maybe Ann to just say a few words while I'm trying to put up your screen. Marge. Okay, I'm gonna do this now. I'm doing this now, and just note that this is under members box in the
under members. Are you showing that?
Yes, yes, yes. So becoming a member, am I right? This is it, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just a moment. Now I'm going to try to.
Sal, if you could.
Okay. Am I right? Becoming a member? Is that the?
Yeah.
All right. Now.
Oh, it's the members, but
where is the application form? I mean the nomination form. Is it here?
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, sige, we'll just let Anne speak a bit later. Okay. So,
okay.
All right.
So, this is the, if you navigate to this is in the button or the square that says member. And then on the last part of on the top, there are several buttons over there. The farthest right is becoming a member. And so these are the policies, or these are the guidelines on how you could become a member of PAASE. So if you scroll down, Giselle, so if you read, these are the qualifications for the full member. And then at the bottom, you have the associate member right here. And Giselle, if you can go to number 4, under full membership, number 4. Okay, and there's a link, the first link, the blue link. If you can click on that.
All right, there it is.
Right there. Okay, so that is the form. It's a Google survey form that needs to be filled up by the nominator. So if Giselle wants to nominate somebody for membership, this is the form that she will fill up. It's a Google survey form. You can fill it out for up to 5 members. And the only information that the nominator needs to fill up, if you go to the top, Giselle, of this form.
Okay, I will go again. But in the meantime, let me recognize the presence of P. Ernie Pernia, joined us just now. Thank you so much, Ernie. Yes.
Okay. So this is the top of the form. This is going to be the form filled out by the nominator. And you can list up to 5 nominees in this form. So you have your, since Giselle is signing up, you can see that her name appears in the email list, and that email will be gathered by the PAASE membership committee. If you want a different email, you can change that email number. And then down at the bottom, after that, you have your email and then the name, your name, that is the name of the nominator, your last and first name, and then the name of the nominee. This is nominee number 1. So if you can see, there's a red asterisk in all of these. Those are required information. It will not allow you to submit unless you fill out that information. So for nominee number 1, you'll see you have to pick whether it's going to be a full or associate member. And then at the can you scroll up a little bit? Okay. All right, so just stay on number 1. Okay, so you have the name of your first nominee, the last name. I will be the where are we now? Okay, type of nomination is a full or associate member, so you have to pick one of those. And then you have to put your nomination statement. Why are you nominating this particular person for membership into PAASE? That's the same statement that you would have filled out if you filled the original nomination form. Again, this is a required information, and you cannot submit this form until you put that information in. So you have to write paragraph as to why this person is being nominated for either a full or associate member, and why we should elect this member to the PAASE. So again, this is nominee number 1 all the way to nominee number 5, and then you submit the form and it will go directly to us. Now, the reason why the membership committee did this is because in the past, we will get a nomination form. It'll be filled up with all of the information from the nominee, and then we don't have a statement from the nominator. If we get to the point where we're reviewing an application and there is no statement from the nominator as to why you are nominating it, we automatically return the form and we don't consider the membership. Sometimes we just let it, if it's past the deadline, you'll have to wait another year before you can nominate again. Sometimes if I catch it before the reviewing, before the committee reviews it, I can email the nominator and say, hey, I need your statement. But that's a lot of work. Last year we had about 88 nominees, and probably 10% of us didn't have any statements. You have to go back and forth and email each of this. So this time there will be none of that. It'll be easier on the committee and on the nominator. You don't have to keep track of all of these. You will need to have a statement before you can submit this to the PAASE Google form. So this is the part of the nominator. Now, if you go back, Giselle, to the page again where the membership nominee, go back to the previous.
Okay, so may I now move to the, yes, this one now? So where?
Second one, the blue one right here. The next, no, not the one. So remember
this one. Yes, that one.
That is the form for the nominee. So the nominee will have to fill out this form. This is the nomination form. And again, when the nominee opens this, we capture right away the email that you're using and the photo that you have associated with your account. So now you can scroll down. And each of these questions will be exactly the same question that we asked in the former nomination form, except that now it is in the survey form, and all of these are required answers. Okay, if you can stop scrolling, Giselle. You can stop scrolling. So there are parts here. Everything that has an asterisk is a required information. Sometimes you don't want to get your website or your office phone. That's where we don't have an asterisk in there. That's optional for you. But if you go down this list, it's exactly the same information we asked from the previous form, but now you have to fill it up into this form all the way to the end. So if you can scroll to the end, Giselle, this will ask for the office number, cell phone number, area of expertise, positions, everything. Some of them you can just check, like what is the significant contributions. And then if you go back up a few things, one of the most important information here is the nominee statement of major contributions to PAASE if elected. So remember, there's two things in here. The question before that is what you think is your most significant contributions to science. This is describing your expertise, which is very useful actually before when we were designing the recs and assigning recs to people. And then the second part here, the second question after that, or the next question after that, is the statement of major contribution to PAASE if the nominee is elected as a member. Again, this is very important. We want to know what you want to contribute, what the nominee can do for PAASE if they get elected. Again, this is one of the questions where there was missing information. And so every time we came across a nomination form that didn't have that information, we had to send it back to the nominee and then ask them to fill it out, and then they had to send it back. So it was back and forth, a lot of work on both sides. So this time it's a required information, and you can't submit the nomination form unless that information is there. Okay, so scroll down to the bottom, Giselle. So this is have all of this information are explanatory. Then you go all the way to the bottom, and then up here is where there's a portion where you can upload your CV. So if there's any information that we need more from your CV, we can go back to that. Now, if the nominator needs information from the CV to write the statement for the nominee can send that CV to the nominator. Okay. So the second part of this form, if you go all the way to the end, so after you put your CV on, there is a second part, which I think you won't be able to get to Giselle because this form has to be filled out. But the thing that's in the second part is really where you choose what recs you want to be. If you are elected as a member, what rec do you want to join in PAASE if you are elected as a member? And the second part of that is what advocacies of the PAASE do you want to join? And the third one is if you want to be involved, which committee would you like to be a part of? So those are the three questions in the second part. Now, why did we do this? The reason why we do this is because of all the pain that we had to go through to come up with just a simple roster of members. When I took over the membership of PAASE, the latest membership roster that we had was 4 years old. There were 200 members that were not on it. There were members that were alive that were listed as deceased. There were members that were deceased that were listed as alive. So we had to go through the whole process to do this. And then once we got the nominations, we had to go in and enter every single person one at a time into the spreadsheet that we had. So with this form that we are doing now, with the method that we're doing now, the Google survey can immediately generate a spreadsheet, which we can just add to the roster. And as soon as you're elected, you're in the roster. And then also the other thing we can do is once you have chosen your rec that you wanted to belong to, we can just sort that out and add you to the rec list. And now you know, and whoever is leading the rec will know who among the new members belong to their rec. Instead of that taking about 6 months, like I know Giselle kept yelling at me, where's the list, where's the list? Because it took me forever to make it. And now as soon as we elect the members, they will be on the roster, they will be on the rec, and we can go on. And if you have not presented, one of the requirements for being a member is to be able to present a talk, either in the PAASE or in one of the webinars. We'll know where to find you. And if you want to look for collaborators to work with and to be able to contribute to, it will be very easy because you will be in the rec that you belong to. If that's one rec, that's fine. If it's 5 recs, you will find your 5 recs. So I think by doing it this way, it becomes more efficient for the members as well as for the membership committee to be able to manage the membership of PAASE. We have 2 years ago, we had 3 years ago, we had 95 plus nominees. The second year we had maybe 26. Last year we had over 80. It's very difficult to process all of those one at a time, particularly if you have another job, which we all do. But the way that we're doing it now makes it very efficient for the membership committee, as well as PAASE to get going and get everybody involved as quickly as possible when they get elected. And also, it will encourage people to join the membership committee because now the job is streamlined and it's not as scary as it used to be to become a chair or a member of the membership committee. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer it. Mario especially was involved in, I started making the forms, but I'm not very facile with making this Google form. So Mario was doing this. The other thing that happens is that once all of the nominations are collected, ISA has someone who can actually code this so that the information in the spreadsheet can be converted into PDF forms so that when the members elect, when we have the election of membership, each nominee will have their own PDF file that the members can peruse as they decide on whether to vote for or against this person's becoming either a full member or an associate member of the PAASE. Okay, So hopefully it'll be very easy for everyone, and it should be much easier for the committee as well. The process will be streamlined, and hopefully moving forward we can improve on this. But I think this is a very big improvement from what we had before. Okay, and that's all I have to say. Good. We are looking for, I think we already have nominees that have been submitted. So looking forward to more nominations.
So thank you so much, Marge.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Marge,
Mario.
Dr. Sean Raimundo has a question.
Yeah.
Can the nominator see the Google form of the nominee? Very good question.
I don't think so. This is why we had it in 2 forms. And so what we suggested is that instead of you looking at the Google form, the nominee should send the nominator a copy of their CV, which is even more complete than what is in the Google form. The purpose of the Google form is for the committee to condense information and get what we need to make a decision to recommend to the membership whether this person qualifies as a full or an associate member. The committee does not have the time to read the nominees' CVs. Some of them are like 50 or 60 pages long, depending on how accomplished they are. So what we did in the nomination form is to distill that information so we can look at the nomination form and actually make a decision without having to go to the CV. I know that in the past we've had to go back to the CV every once in a while when we had a question, but most of the time we can just look at the nomination form and know, and the MEMCOM can decide, okay, this person is qualified for full or associate membership, or maybe she needs to be a whatever, or sometimes there's a nominee that we think should really be a full member. That happens. So the nominator will have to get the CV of the nominee in order to make their statement. And that should be more complete than what is in the Google form.
Hey, thanks, Mario. Marge, I hope, Sean, your question is answered. So I have...
The other thing, the second part of that question is when the voting comes, the information in the Google Doc will be converted into a PDF. So you will still be able to see the qualifications of the nominee as you vote. So whatever the MEMCOM, the information that the MEMCOM had to make the decision to recommend to the general membership, you will be able to see that at the time that you vote for the membership. Yeah.
Okay, so Marge, for the benefit of our audience, I have 2 questions. And well, we aim to grow PAASE to say 600 members. Okay. To capture all the PhD level scientists and engineers and medical doctors of Philippine descent all over the world and in the Philippines, okay? Who are like-hearted and like-minded. Anyway, so I'd like to know, can a nominator or a member nominate more than 5 members? Like, you just have to fill up another Google form.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can fill up the group over and over again.
Yes.
I know that you have nominated like 30 people in the past. So each one will be
and
5.
I have another 30 to nominate.
6 of those.
Right. Okay.
And
next.
now it's not going to be as daunting to the membership committee because all we have to do is create that spreadsheet, and we can.
Exactly.
I had to type every single one of those people in a spreadsheet before I can even call a meeting. Not to mention that I have to go search for all of them, because even though I said mail to this email, they emailed it to my other email and another email. They even emailed it to Leah, maybe because I look like.
Okay. So I guess each member could please look at the minimum criteria, qualifications, and then recruit all your friends and colleagues who meet the qualifications, because you know that you can work well with them. Okay? Yes. So at this point, Marge, I just want to clarify with everyone whether, we will require the payment of the membership fee, whether full or annual, before the announcement of the new members towards what month would this be? Can you now tell us the schedule for nominations, deadlines, and then evaluation, and then announcement, and therefore to facilitate, to make it easier for our treasurer and assistant treasurer to require that the nominee who's been conditionally accepted as a member can first pay the dues. Yes, please.
Okay, so we are now, so typically the membership nomination begins 2 months before the APAMS. And the reason for that is because we want to allow some of the members that are being nominated, if they want to present at the APAMS and fulfill that requirement, they can already volunteer to give a talk at the APAMS. Or the members from last year who didn't give a talk can also give to the APAMS. The membership nomination opens 2 weeks before, 2 months before APAMS, and then it ends at the end of the month of the APAMS, which is October 31st. That's the deadline for submission. Now, I know last year extended by a couple of weeks last year because there was so much excitement from our virtual APAMS. So I don't know if that's going to happen again this year, but hopefully everybody will have their nominations in. And as soon as the nominations are in, it will be up to our membership committee chair. Now that we can just generate the spreadsheet right away by pushing one button to have a spreadsheet, and then we send it to all of the membership committee. Then we all decide whether we accept it as a full member, associate member, or defer. And with that, we can make our recommendations to the board after that. So hopefully by mid November, we should be able to do that. We can make the recommendation to the board. And when the board approves our recommendations for full and associate members, then Lulu will send that out to the general membership for election, for the general election. And so that should probably happen sometime early December, I think, or mid-December. I don't know what the timing would be because we also need to have the election for the 3 new board members and the vice president. So we'll have to time that. Last year, we held it back because we wanted to elect a president because Edsel had to resign due to conflict of interest when he became a director for NSF, a program director for NSF. So we had the election first of the officers and then and the board before we did the election of the members. So we can do one before the other. I think it should be okay.
And it's
so just look out for those dates. Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
If the new members are elected and they have paid their membership fee, can they vote?
Yes.
For the new officers and board members?
It's to do the election of the members first, and then they need to pay their fees, and then they can vote for the next set of board members. We will be electing 3, and then also the vice president.
Yeah. Yes. And that's the president-elect for the next 2 years, 2024 to 25, right? Yes.
So if you're not going to extend that, I'm sure that as soon as the election is closed, I mean, as soon as the nomination is closed, Isaac can put the spreadsheet, and then we can, the membership committee can meet and then make a recommendation to the board.
All right. So that's great. Are there questions from our attendees?
Yes. It's no.
Sean?
Yeah. There's no requirement for oath taking. Just after the acceptance, they pay the fee and they're already members.
The oath taking will happen at the next APAMS next year. So the people, the members who were elected this year are taking their oath at this APAMS. And then the ones who are elected this year will take their oath at the next APAMS, which is next year. Yeah. But if they pay the membership, they can vote.
Yes.
Domondo?
Yeah.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm just curious, to transition from associate to full, do I need my original nominator to make that, nomination?
It doesn't have to be the original nominator. Anybody can nominate you to be full. Like, I know that when Angeline, if nobody had nominated her, we would have nominated her for full membership, but somebody else nominated. So it does not have to be your original nominator who will nominate you for full. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I think Giselle,
yes, ma'am.
The rec co-chairs, you must be on the lookout for your members, the associate members who should be nominated already as full members.
Yeah, okay? It should be, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions to Marge? Mario? Any comments? Sean? Any more questions?
Question, please.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. are the nominations, I mean, yeah, is the season, is this the season for making nominations already?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
So it's now on the webpage. It's a link to the.
Yeah. Okay. Until when? Until when is it?
October 31 is the deadline. October 30.
Okay. And then the deliberations would be in November. Is that correct?
Hopefully we can get, mid-November. Hopefully we can get it done.
Okay. And then the decisions will be announced when? The following year?
There will be an election that will be announced by Lulu after the board has approved the recommendations by the membership committee.
Okay.
So hopefully by our board meeting in November, we should be able to do this, Giselle.
All right, because we have to elect the new officers after that, right?
After that, we have to elect new officers by December. Because then I'll be finished, no?
I'll be done. Fantastic. I mean,
Giselle can be re-elected, right?
No, please, no.
Somebody, you can nominate her.
No.
Giselle is still a lot of gasoline and.
Oh my God! Wait a minute.
I know. We need to use that energy.
No, please. You have to move on to the young, dynamic leaders. My gosh, Mario's there, and then you should look at the board members. Oh my gosh.
I'm not kidding.
So, join late.
Just
the only thing I can say is if somebody nominates you to become a board member, please say yes. No, when I became a member, I had no idea PAASE existed. I just kept saying yes, and here I am, and I've done so much work that it was, even though it's a lot of work, it's a lot of fun, and it's really, it's dear to my heart to be able to contribute.
And well, at this point, I just wanted to reintroduce Sec Ernie to all of us in the audience. He's actually the chairman of the board of our PAASE Foundation Philippines, which is like a subsidiary of PAASE International. Okay, so Sec Ernie is there to stay with us as our leader in PAASE Foundation Philippines. Okay, and we've already shared with our membership the papers of the PAASE Foundation, but I know Al here and CP are very frustrated because we are still fixing our other documents, including the official ORs. But my gosh, we've gone to the BIR and now we have this permit to get the ORs. Everything just takes much longer these days. Okay, but we're almost there, and Irene Villasenor and I are on top of it, okay, together with my guy Leo Ombak, okay, who's done a lot of work for us. So anyways, I think Mario, any other things that we want to share with our members and friends today? Ino, Alvin, Ernie.
I just want to encourage everyone to make donations to the tribute to the teachers.
Yeah.
Al, you made a donation already, but I need that full page from you. Just email it to me. Even if you email me a picture, I can create the page for you for the tribute to the teacher.
So I've already made one donation for my high school teacher, chemistry teacher. But I'm making another one, and I told Mario this is an amazing, admirable young woman.
I can make the poster for the.
I'm just not ready. I don't have time yet, but it will be ready for 41st APAMS.
Thank you, Giselle. I would like to encourage all the mentors and advisors to nominate or ask their mentees, your graduate students, to apply for the APAMS 2021 Graduate Student Fellowship Program so that they can attend APAMS for free. We've had so far 12 applicants, and we wish that we'll have more, 60, 100, so please encourage your graduate students to apply. The links are on paase.org.
All right. So we're in the topic of donations. So we're going to end this town hall meeting with our champions. And I'm going to give the floor to this woman who's very outstanding. And then we're going to end it with Sec Ernie giving us a few words of wisdom and advice. No? But I'd like to introduce at this point Ann Villalobos, okay, who's a donated major. So how did she do it? She did it in the United States. She donated $2,500 and then asked her company, former employer, to donate equal amount. So now this money, 2,500 from Anne and 2,500 from J&J, Johnson & Johnson, so been received by Liza Virata in the United States. So I would like to give the floor to Anne and then afterwards to Sec Ernie. Please, Anne.
Hello, good morning. I stepped out just recently because I'm arranging for my trip to Bukidnon. I'm in Iloilo right now. But anyway, I committed to PAASE that I will give at least 2,000 a year. And then Johnson & Johnson will match that 100%. So it's a great opportunity to have a tax deduction in the US. So that's my tax shelter. And then at the same time, I'm helping the Philippines. So whatever program you have, I'm for it. Thank you.
Amazing. Unrestricted. It's 4,000 a year, not just one-time donation. Every year pala yan, Anne. Grabe. Oh my gosh. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ayan, Lisa V, meron ka na. And then we know because of our tax exempt status, we must be able to spend the money. Okay? You have to show the US government that you are actually spending this money. So that's a lot of work, ideas for us in the board, okay? And it must involve naman expenditure or engagement with US-based members, no? That is the requirement. So at this point, may we seek the words of wisdom and advice of Sec Ernie? Yes?
Yeah, well, okay. Science and what we are doing is really great to the extent that it has real impact on society, on the economy. I'm really disappointed about myself and about us because the Philippines is one of the most aggressive in terms of science and technology, engineering, etc. In ASEAN. We have so many meetings, yet we are not having a real impact, a real effect on the progress of society and the economy. And I think that is partly because we haven't really yet brought into our circle the captains of industry and the leaders of society. Not even the current administration. The current administration is not really as cognizant and appreciative, except for Boy de la Peña, of science and technology. And we really have to work in terms of getting science and technology becoming, becoming a natural companion, becoming second nature to the government, to the private sector businesses, so that there'll be a real impact on the economy in terms of poverty alleviation, inequality reduction, and self-sustaining economic growth. For example, the way we have handled the COVID-19 pandemic is we are really the worst in ASEAN in terms of managing the COVID-19 pandemic. So why is that so? We have so many scientists and engineers, and we had so many discussions on this, but we have been a laggard. Vietnam has overtaken us already. So that is really my advocacy. That is really my dream, my aspiration, and this is the same thinking as Giselle and Al Sirafika and others have. Even Gobet Advincula, si Joel Cuello. But you know, we have to find a way of really, really connecting effectively with with the private sector and the government itself. That's why, you know, let's really hope and pray that the next administration will be more appreciative, will be more sensitive to science and technology.
Okay, thank you, Ernie.
That is just, you know, that is my, that has been what I've been, you know, engaged my mind, and you know, I kind of, you know, and so Giselle, we have to have a plan for
I
this.
know.
Yeah.
Okay. Ernie, earlier I told the group about our S&T Human Capital Development
Yes.
position paper, and I updated you that Director Julius gave me the schedule, no? So I hope we can follow through this with the speaker, because if PAASE has some money that it can decide to spend, I'm not saying that we're going to receive that money, no, but it will be a conduit, okay, to PAASE, and we can implement our programs to showcase what you can really do on the ground. That would be great, okay? So I think that's very important. We're following this through, CP and I, no? Second, we had this plan with you and Edna Ko and Sarah Dawai Canis to draft a paper to present to the presidential candidates, or even to the senators and congressmen and governors, no, for election. Pero this time, it's not just focused on S&T Human Capital Development. Kailangan yung holistic talaga, yung kinikwento mong yan, that we need to get it to the ground through the private sector, SMEs, and also through our SUCs and our government agencies at several levels. So it would be, you might say, an improvement or an iteration of the UP knowledge paper, because that's exactly how Alvin is operating in EBSU. He's doing that on the ground. Imagine that. So you have a UP knowledge paper being implemented by the DLSU professor on the ground there in EBSU. Okay? So I'm saying we need to write this paper now. Pero hindi masyadong highfalutin, hindi masyado, parang yung level din ng S&T Human Capital Development. Merong ganon, merong mga, you know, the facts, the introduction, the background, and then here are the do's, here are the challenges, and what do we have to do? It's got to be on the implementation level. So at this point, I'm really hoping that we can form this think tank group, which would be led by you and Al Sarafika. Al, will you, well, please meet up with this challenge, please? Al? Yes? Yeah. So anyways, so let's try to do that. And the third thing that I think we should really do is, I was again reminded by Alvin to recognize the people who unflinchingly and unconditionally supported our campaign for S&T as the driver for socio-economic development in the country. So Alvin and I hope, Mario, this is okay with you, would like to have a special event to recognize the contributions of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and with her Secretary Estrella Alabastro. So it is not going to be in 41st APAMS. I'll just communicate this with PGMA, who's, you know, like a right-hand woman is somebody I'm in touch with, because she's really the person who set this thing going, right, with the National Science Complex. And so I think this is timely because we're now in virtual, we're on online. And we know very well that in UP Diliman, and I'm calling, recognizing here the presence of our AVPAA Vanji Amor, who's here. Okay, but in particular in UP Diliman, it is so hard to get PGMA into the premises of UP Diliman. You know that very well, Sec Ernie, okay? But if our meeting, our recognition is going to be virtual, I think it's going to be a little bit better. I mean, I know politics aside, but the facts are there, should be recognized that she was the one who gave us a lot of money through the advocacy of the PAASE. This is 2006. For those of you who are not even members of the PAASE, okay? We're not saying that, you know, we are sitting on our laurels there. I'm not saying that National Science Complex is the thing, and then that it was followed by ERDT, and that today is not better than 2006. But I think we have to recognize the efforts of people in the past. Okay, so it was Sec Ernie who was recognized by PGMA in Malacanang because he was the teacher of PGMA. And I don't think you gave her a 1.0, right?
No.
So anyways, so these are the things that, you know, we're going to talk about. And we're hoping that PAASE can still make a difference at the national level, then now, as Alvin emphasized, at the regional and provincial levels. Okay, and we're working very hard in Leyte, in Rizal, in Bataan, and Kokoy is here. I wish he could speak for Gobet, because this is his young, dynamic blood, no? And then Ino in Pangasinan, and then 2 other cities. Okay?
Yeah, but by the way, because of the Mandana's ruling, which is going to be implemented in 2022, the local government units are going to be getting quite a sum, you know, because many national policies and programs will be devolved to the local government, and that is why they're getting a bigger chunk. They're getting not just from tax revenues, but also from all other government earnings like customs revenue and others.
Wow!
So they're getting. I think of the 5 billion something budget for 2022, the 20% of that, 20% is going to the local government for devolved functions.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
they're going to have more funds. So what Alvin is doing in terms of doing it at the local government level or subnational economies, level, then that would be feasible in other provinces and towns as well.
So
the other thing, Giselle, is you may have heard that the ranking of UP has
gone down.
declined. And this is because of lack of internationalization. One of the factors.
So,
and we already have a transnational education law. I don't know why that is still not implemented. That was passed during my time. Transnational education, which means that there's going to be more there's going to be more avenues for getting international professors, international programs into the Philippines. Pero there's a lag in implementation lang. Ganun naman palagi tayo dito eh. We have a good laws, but there's a lag in implementation. And in the meantime, makalimutan yon. So maybe we should also follow up on that.
So just to alert everyone, the Times Higher Education rankings, which we watch in UP and local universities, just came out, and UP slid from 2021. It's already in the 400 to 1 to 500 plus 500, and now it's back down to 601 plus to 700 or 800. And then, of course, it's still way above. And I'm not trying to, try to show competition. The next one is De La Salle, which is in the 1,200 plus. Okay, and I know the reasons shared with me by my successor, VP Cinch Bautista, what the reasons for the slides is. And it's, of course, because of our graduation rate, which has gone down because of the cyber structure, the inability to deliver our courses, and therefore you have many more of our students who are, falling by the wayside. Other, of course, is the research citations have gone down, although our research per se has not, diminished, but it's not going at a rate as fast as our competing universities in the ASEAN region. So now we've been overtaken again by Chulalongkorn University, and of course, University of Malaya is still out there. Of course, National University of Singapore and Nanyang Technological University. But we're there, and to me, it's Sec Ernie for reasons you described, because of fundamental services that we lack, whether in the UP or the whole country, including cyber and infrastructure. So at this point, I think you're so right that we should try to get our leaders in PAASE, including our board members who are now in the provinces, to get to your governors and to your lead LGU or mayor. So Kokoy, you have Governor Abet, I don't know, he's running for re-election, and then his siblings are Mayor of Balanga and Mayor of Dinalupihan. So it's all in the Garcia family, and they're all known to Sec Ernie. They're very upright, they're good, they're progressive. In the same way that Alvin and Joel have gotten to Governor Petilla, let us say EVSU president and the officials, that the other major thing that you should aim for, Sec Ernie, and please take note of this, that many of us, including former President Pascuala, said that the SUCS board of regents, if possible, should be depoliticized.
Yeah.
At the governor and provincial level, para no, the money, the decisions are really focused on academics and R&D. So EVSU President Dennis, who's actually a graduate of UP Statistics, okay, and he's going to implement, KPIs and, metrics in the EVSU, just the same way that I think BPSU and Bataan Governor Abet Garcia are doing in Bataan. I think that could be one of your advocacies or campaigns. Okay, now you choose your best LGU mayor, like you have Richard Gomez in Ormoc City, for example. Okay, he's good, no? And then you have a good congressman there, Martin Romualdez, who is actually the nephew of Ed Gomez. His mother is the sister of our national scientist, Ed Gomez. Okay, so we need to have this kind of reach and make use of our family and friendly connections, but for good, not for self-interest, no? But we should, I mean, that's our culture. Filipino culture is that way. Sino ba yung kilala mo? Sino ba yung kilala mo? Pero do it for the right reasons, for the good reasons. Okay? So, Sec Ernie, I think at this point, we really have to come up with that paper. Okay? Let me just say that Edna, at this point, Edna ko is very busy. And what we're trying to do with Edna ko and former chair of the BOR and CHED chair, Tapi Licuanan, is to try to come up with modules, training modules on how to guide our 100,000 Ashi nanays. These are nanays that are, under the care of Mercy Abad, okay, in Ashi, Ahon sa Hirap, to vote wisely. So we're having a meeting, Edna ko has done this because we requested her. Okay, as part of PAASE, part of Mercy Abad, who's been in our PAASE Fireside chats. And now, of course, Tati Licuanan is our PAASE vanguard. Okay, so we're focusing on women, no? So 97, now 105,000 women na daw ang ASHI women na nice. This is a microfinancing group which originated in UPLB by Professor Octavio. Okay, so we have modules and we're going to conduct this. But we have to do our share. We have to come up with that, paper, Sec Ernie. Okay? Sige. I mean, there's just so much to do. There's just so much to do, okay?
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Thank you so much. Okay. So
Okay.
anything else anybody wants to say? I mean, I always look to the young dynamic people because I always say, you know, I keep young. You say I have this energy and a level of, well, I'm kind of still thinking, because I learn from my RAs. I learn from the young people. I learn from young faculty and researchers. So at this point, I really want to hear from Kokoy. Kokoy, can you please say something meaningful? Yes, Kokoy, you are hosting an international conference and you are getting so many speakers from the ASEAN and Europe and elsewhere in the world. Can you please tell us about your 3D printing conference? Are you still there or are you gone? John Ryan Dizon, are you there? Ay, nako. Yeah, unfortunately, I think he had to leave. But I am going to announce it in our Google group that this John Ryan Dizon and Gobet have organized an international conference on additive manufacturing and 3D printing. And you should see their lineup of speakers, international. Okay?
Okay.
So if there is no more comments, Des, anybody wants to speak? Benchy?
Thank you all for coming.
Michael?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Farnia.
Good night, everyone. Good
Good
day,
night.
everyone.
Good day.
Giselle, you're still in the
Thank you
US.
very much.
Thank you very
Have a
much.
good day.
Giselle, you're still in the US.
No, I'm back. And
Ah,
I
you're
have to
back?
go to the UP Jib to get my vaccine card. Stamp
okay.
the QC seal. 10:30 yung aking schedule. So it's
Okay.
perfect timing now.
Okay.
Dennis, thank you so
Thank you, Ma'am
much.
Giselle.
President Dennis, huh?
Yes.
Show your
Thank
face.
you po. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
I learned a lot from the group.
Yes.
I'm looking forward for the partnership for PAASE
Yes,
and
yes.
EBSU come
Yes.
to reality.
Faces, I'll take your pictures.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Who's gonna take the photo? Anybody? Oh, I will do it. I will do it. Just a moment. Just a moment. We're 2 pages eh.
Kaya lalabas. Pangalan lang na
Ayan
dyan.
naman ang vis-a-vis. Oh, yan. All right. Page 2. Ay, naku, nawawala na ang mga tao. Sayang. Nawawala na ang mga tao.
Sayang, hindi na ano. Okay, that's fine. At least.
Okay, sayang. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you guys for coming.
Keep safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Thank you.
Thank you, Giselle.
Thank you, Mario. Great going, everyone. Thank you.
See you soon, Mario.
Mario.